The Spurs need to get better, man, because Wemby, yo,
Wemby now,
yeah, Wemby is looking like, he want the Michael Jordan portfolio. He,
bro, he's special.
yeah, man, he might be more savage than some of these guys like Edwards and the other players. I think he sees himself 10 times higher than those guys.
Correctly so,
Yeah. I think he
bro.
wants to stand above the whole league. Like he really wants
He's
like
special.
LeBron's position.
He's special,
Yeah. But Chet is gonna have a head start ahead of him, man, because Chet got a squad.
bro. Man, he's fortunate enough. I think guys like, bro. Look, there's some guys you can tell it's gonna take them time to figure out winning, and what's it called again?
But
And
but
he,
but with Wemby, I mean,
it seems like he doesn't need time to figure out
yeah,
winning.
he doesn't need time because as long as you provide him decent pieces, it
Yeah,
seems like he can bring him somewhere. And
like
like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if this guy is looking to have a Michael Jordan portfolio, man. As far as his name in the NBA, I think he's trying to be the face, bro. I'll be honest with you.
yeah.
If you look at the way he moves, he's looking like he's trying to be the face, man.
Dude, he has a possibility. He's talked about it, how he wants to. He's talked about wanting to be Defensive Player of the Year next season.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy that he
When,
he basically almost qualified it for this season. It's the only
yeah,
reason he doesn't because the Spurs suck.
yeah. I mean, dude, look, I think now the whole experimental with Sohan, it isn't working. They're gonna have to move on from that.
Mm-hmm. Now the thing
Um,
is, I want to say this. Oh wait, go ahead. I'll let you finish your point. My bad.
yeah, but it isn't working. You kind of need them competent players, and I think back to what we need. We were talking about young guys you can tell needs to figure out how to win. Right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not trying to change the topic, but like Victor Wembanyama is a guy that you can see that he doesn't need to learn how to win. Where like compared to other young guys we've seen, they kind of had to figure out how to win. You and I, we talked about it a lot. Last podcast, we were talked about what's the guy? Anthony Edwards. He has times where he's struggling to close out.
Correct.
Brandon Miller is another guy who seems like he's good as an individual player, but it'll take him time to figure it out. Same with Lonzo Ball. We talked about obviously Jalen Green. There's a lot of young guys, right? He is not in that category, bro.
Yeah, he's definitely not. He's definitely
No.
not. He has all the physical tools, the intangibles, along with the tangibles. Like he could pass, he
He
dribbles the ball
understands
low, he
winning
could
culture, man.
drive. Yeah, he does it all. He does it all. But is it the Spurs way for them to rebuild fast? Remember, this is a mom and pop franchise, and usually they had their stars like Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan take pay cuts, and they took their
Tim,
time. They drafted guys. They didn't overpay for guys.
let me.
Do you think Wemby has patience for all that?
I think Timmy D's situation is very different. You remember, Timmy D came at the time when San Antonio and Duncan Robinson. No, why am I saying Duncan? When David Robinson had that major injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me check which season. You remember he was out for a whole season, and that is why they tanked for Tim Duncan.
True.
And then when he came, they were right there and there 2 years later, 97 season, yes. Robinson got hurt in December, which led them to get drafting Tim Duncan. And then 2 seasons later, they won a championship. So I think his situation is different in that regard. I think Tim Duncan was drafted into a team that needed a guy who can push that needed that could have been in the finals with David Robinson, but unfortunately, David got injured and Tim Duncan was able to quickly become that franchise guy. I think that's a very similar situation, not team wise, but I think that's a similar situation. Victor Wembanyama as an individual player.
Mm-hmm. But once
I don't know
again,
if you feel the same way, but
I feel like, yeah, I agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is that the Spurs right now, it's almost like Wemby joined this team while they're at the basement. They're all in the basement right now. They're like, hey,
yeah,
Wemby, we're trying to rebuild. Wow, you're automatically our best guy. But they're not used to spending money, like going on a free agency, buying guys
mhm.
out. They're not used to doing that. So now we're gonna see San Antonio. Can they adapt and become one of these new teams that go out and spend money? Because right now in the
You
league,
know,
in the past 5 years, we've seen the Minnesota Timberwolves become high spenders. We've seen new owners come in.
Phoenix
Guys,
Suns.
yeah, Phoenix Suns, the Clippers. All of a sudden, the Clippers are big spenders. And now, little old San Antonio down there in Texas, man, they've been chilling, riding horses,
Yep.
and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, you guys gotta compete with these guys now and all this tech money."
Yep.
So,
And you don't think Tillman Fertitta, and you look at neighboring Texans teams.
yeah,
Dallas, they
Dallas
got
is
a new
rich
bank.
now.
Dallas is rich now. Tillman
Yep.
Fertitta, he wants a championship, man. He's he wants a brand new championship. He's a guy who wants to make money, and the way he sees making money, it's having a good team.
And Greg Popovich has shown that he could adapt. I'm not sure if he's the president of the team, or like the team general manager, but
He's
whoever.
influential.
Yeah, he's influential, but at the end of the day, man, I know the culture around with the Spurs is mom and pop. It's sort of almost like a military, kind of military based type culture. But can they adapt with the new teams where it's like, hey, let's drop 50 million. Hey, let's give this person a $200 million contract. Let's go after this player. Can they, speed up the process? Because Wemby, man, Wemby's like a Gen Z, man. He's not gonna wait around for the San Antonio way.
But nobody does that anymore.
I'm like, but hey, we don't know that for a fact with the Spurs. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
They've had the same coach for since the 90s. You know what I mean? This is
Yep.
a mom and pop, like I said, because San Antonio has a bunch of like military bases. There is an army type culture down there, kind of one unit. Nobody's bigger than the logo. And, can Wemby actually, in a individual star driven era, can he, Wemby's actually a bigger name, just almost as big as the Spurs right now. Can they compete with that? Are they willing to adapt as a franchise?
Yep.
And I don't
And
know.
you saw that with Dallas. For the longest time they were mom and pop. Dirk Nowitzki, you had Donnie Nelson Jr. and Rick Carlisle running everything and all that good stuff, right? And Dirk was a guy who, he didn't mind. He cared about competing. He didn't really want to get into locker room or front office politics. And so now when Luka came, you kind of saw him like butting heads with Rick Carlisle. You kind of saw
butting
you
heads
kind of saw
indeed.
him looking at Donnie Nelson and thinking, yo, his way of building a team is outdated. So they were forced to get a guy like Nico Harrison, who is a Hollywood type of executive, Nike executive, a guy who had a relationship with Kyrie Irving, which is why I think one of the reasons why Kyrie is still on the team and hasn't made a fuss is because Nico Harrison's a guy he's known since he was 20.
Yep.
And Jason Kidd, a guy that Luka looked up to, and a guy that number one, Luka, Kyrie most importantly looked up to him. I think maybe Luka looked up to him. I don't want to be confident on that. But one thing for sure is he's Dallas. He played in Dallas. When you talk about Jason Kidd's career, you have to bring up Dallas championship and his early career in Dallas.
Yeah, but like you were saying, these new GMs, these new presidents, they're more relationship based guys. Like the Golden State Warriors, I think were the first ones to pull that off with their former GM. Yeah, he had a lot of relationships, and
Bob Myers.
Yeah, the Knicks now are
Leon
in that
Rose.
phase with Leon Rose. Yeah, so can the
World Wide Web.
Spurs? Yeah, can the Spurs adapt to the 21st century? I feel like when you go to San Antonio, these guys still are running Ethernet cords and have no Wi-Fi. I feel like that franchise needs an update. They're too stuck in the Alamo or some shit.
What is the thing called in the 90s or 80s when like you try to connect to the internet and there's like a noise?
Yeah, I feel
They're still stuck on that.
I feel like they run their videos through AOL or some shit. Like it's crazy, man. Like, can San Antonio adapt with all the
like
with
even
all these
Charlotte
new tech
Hornets are
owners?
adapting right now, bro. Even Charlotte's adapting.
Yeah, they have no choice. But all the old NBA owners who don't have money, who are cheap, they're gonna get phased out of the league, man.
Genie's seen it, bro.
They can't compete.
Genie's seen it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Jeannie Buss eventually sells the team. I wouldn't be shocked.
Bro, the Lakers are way too expensive for her, man.
Yeah, and honestly, it's something about second generation, the kids, the owners. Like you see with the Yankees, it's not the same. It's like
No.
It's definitely not the same. And the father is the one that had the vision.
Yep.
The
And
kids took over with no vision. They have no
you talked
vision,
about you were talking about LeBron and Jeannie. I think what she wants to do is recreate that image
which is
that
bad.
her father had with Magic and Kobe. If that make I don't know if that made
Hmm.
sense, but I think she wants to recreate that you know where Dr. Jerry Buss and Kobe or Magic, they have that tight relationship. But I think one of her problems is Dr. Jerry Buss was a ruthless man. Like when you looked at his track record and how he viewed basketball, he was ruthless.
Yeah, but and another thing is that he was
Genie's not ruthless.
yeah, Jeannie's more of the business side to the business, to basketball. She needs someone. She can't keep hiring people that she only knows. The Lakers are gonna have to hell. Who
Kurt
knows?
Rambis, Phil Jackson,
Yeah, or they may have to give good old Pat Riley a call.
bro. Pat's not leaving. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
probably not
yeah.
leaving Miami, but hey, they need someone like that. They need
Bro, I
someone
think
like
what
that
they
because Pat Riley, this whole time in Miami, he's been running that ship with an owner who doesn't like to spend. Imagine if he goes to the Lakers and these guys can
Yep.
spend. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Pat
dude,
can make something happen.
and I have to question Rob Pelinka too. I know he's like the Hollywood exec, but my thing is he limited because of the money or what is the scene with him? Because there's no way a guy who has this much connections isn't getting more better players, you know? Like
I feel like we could properly judge Rob Pelinka when LeBron leaves, because the fact that LeBron is there, he's the Thanos. No matter who you try to get, he's gonna suck the energy, and some people are not gonna be attracted to being another ring on the finger of Thanos. So once
okay,
LeBron leaves, that's when the Laker market could open up to someone else coming in.
let me give you one example, right? Rob Pelinka represented James Harden. Why didn't James Harden list Rob Pelinka as one of the destinations the Los Angeles Lakers when he was demanding out?
Hey, you could ask the same question about Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. These guys had LA on their list. As soon as LeBron went there, LA was no longer on the list.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm saying is right now, right?
Hmm.
I think the idea of playing with Anthony Davis or LeBron James, it should be somewhat attractive, right? I mean, even if they don't want to play with him, you usually put on a list to like give your front office the pressure, right? Because front offices don't want to trade with the Lakers to begin with, so there's that, right?
Hmm.
Um, you should have at least put in like you know how teams tend to just put in, how players tend to just put in random ass teams to like put pressure on the front office that I'm available for this team, that team, and that team, but they have one agenda.
Hmm.
I'm surprised he didn't even list out the Lakers in that.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, but
And Rob was his guy. Rob was a
I'm
guy who
surprised but
was
not
his
surprised.
general. I'm not saying it's weird, man, because we were talking about celebrity execs, right? Aren't I guess you could put Hollywood execs is the best way to put it, with like Leon Rose and Rob Pelinka, Bob Myers, and Worldwide West, Nico Harrison. You'd think he'd
Hmm.
be one of them that was able to get names because of how much connections he's built throughout 20 years of being an agent,
Hmm.
representing so many players. Like, I think once LeBron becomes an owner of a team, you're going to see the same thing with Rich Paul.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, LeBron, the way he was talking on his new show with JJ Redick, he said, "When I become an owner," it's almost like this shit's already done, set, and sealed.
Yeah, but I wonder if LeBron, dude, he's going to face the Michael Jordan stigma, man.
I don't think so. They're a little bit more. They're a little bit more business savvy. I would say LeBron has gotten a longer crack at being business savvy because of the landscape that Michael Jordan created for him. See, that's the point. LeBron is
But
supposed to create a landscape where now the players, the next superstar could not only play and make more money than LeBron, he could actually be in better position to be an owner.
let me
That's
ask you
LeBron's
this.
job.
You think goats in their era, right? You
Hmm.
talk about Magic and Michael. They weren't good at evaluating talent.
I feel like no, but I feel like you see if LeBron strikes me. LeBron's super smart, man. He strikes me as a person
No,
that's off rip. He's not gonna try to act like he building a team. He's just gonna pay someone to do that.
okay, yeah, that I respect. But if remember, who was it? Shabazz Napier. That was one of LeBron's most famous tweets.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
LeBron talking shit though. Like I feel like sometimes he be trolling with that. But a person who thought that they could evaluate talent that's a GOAT is Michael Jordan. And he
yeah.
cannot. He cannot. He does not. He's not good at that. And he shouldn't
Kwame
be.
Brown, Adam Morrison, Sean Elliott, I believe the guy's name was.
Yeah.
Um,
If you're Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron, if you're like the gifted, you can't be evaluating talent to build a
Magic
roster.
Johnson, he couldn't do it.
Yeah, and it can't be coach either. A coach has to be a role man. You know, a person
Yep.
that maybe he was a superstar, but then he got injured and became a role man, then a
Yep.
journeyman. Those type of players that
A
have
guy
to
who had to
fight.
figure out a role.
Yeah, to
Steve
stay in the
Kerr,
league. Yeah,
Tyronn Lue,
they can be good coaches.
Adrian Griffin, Darvin Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I forgetting names?
Because but you know
Doc
what?
Rivers.
You know why those coaches are good coaches? Because they had to search for things outside of the game to make sure that they're good enough to still be in the game.
Of course.
Yeah, so they had to
You
squeeze
know,
every juice out of those lemons. And LeBron
Ty Lue
James
for
and
2001 finals
yeah,
made it his job to guard Allen Iverson.
yeah, LeBron James,
Yep.
Kobe, Michael Jordan, they never had to do that. They
No.
were automatically gifted. So
You know, one guy I thought would have figured it out as a head coach would have been Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher. Yeah.
I thought he
I
would have been a great
me
coach.
too.
I always thought
Yeah, I
that he
always
would have
thought
been
he
a
would be a
great
good
coach.
coach. I mean, he has the experience and he's been to the finals like 4
And he's
times.
smart.
Yeah.
A smart, yeah.
I think Phil
But
Jackson, him taking that job with Phil Jackson kind of fucked him up.